Hello and welcome to Derbyshire Dales Model Railway. It is a DCC sound layout in double O gauge, and it's a small bedroom layout, 11 foot by 7 foot. So I'm going to start off at the back of the engine shed. Still a little bit more work to do here, obviously. To begin with, I've weathered up the van now, and all I used to do that was, I think it's eyeshadow. It's a powdery form of makeup that women use. Really cheap from Poundland, so I did that with that, and you can actually wipe it off and your van will become, or your vehicle will become, in pristine condition again. Moving along, we've got a bit of junk in the yard, but this, it does say there, it is a hazardous area. And we've got a fire assembly point as well, just there. Also another little sign here, train spotters are not permitted on this site, and I've added a couple of signs on the building itself. I've also added a louver. Now originally this didn't have any louvers on it. Metcalfe do supply them in the kit, but I didn't really want any. But since then things have changed. As you can see, there's a little genty poking its nose out of the shed there. So I had to think, oh well, maybe we're going to have steam in here after all. Moving on to the control panels, if you're keeping up with me, these two was originally made out of plastic. Now the main reason for me to change the idea about that is because when I come and draw the layout on here for the point motors and everything, it's going to be a bit easier to do it on wood rather than the plastic I had. Moving along to the front of the engine shed, I've done a bit of detailing on the front. So we've got the traction maintenance depot now, and some of these yellow chevrons at the sides. We've also got the boss there. There is more detailing inside. Let's see if I can get that in, so you can just see there we've got some bits and bobs going in there, and we've got some bits and bobs going on the outside as well. Originally the gates that I had was made out of the fencing, and it was the same colour as the fencing. Didn't look right. I'm going down more the line of a heritage railway now, so I can run pretty much anything, and we obviously know that these are crossing gates, but I thought, well, why not repurpose them, and we'll have them as yard gates. And one of them does close, the other one's been glued back. So we've got a bit more junk behind there. Now, on my last update, I had blown all the floodlights on the layout, but they have now all been replaced. And these little buffer stops from Gauge Master, they was originally 2 LEDs, and yes, you can cut them in half and just have the one. And I've done it with the other 2 as well. The Backscene is all the way around now, we'll get into that. And I've now completed the cutting. And that's pretty much complete all the way along. So this area is going to be a canal scene, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So moving down the layout, nothing's really changed in this area. This is my programming track, so that loco doesn't have any motors in it or anything, it's just a dummy. And I've got my 2 Derbyshire Stone, well, it's actually 1, but 2 tankers on it. Little wagon there, and I've put a little shed hut at the end of it. Still not done anything with these mounds, but these will become, when I put the ballast, sprinkle ballast over, and it will look like it's just mounds of ballast. I've got a couple of them dotted around. Coming onto this area, these 2 originally was over there in the middle. And I've come to realise, let me just grab the ginty and put that on. I've come to realise that if you're coaling up from one of these stages, it's a hell of a way to throw coal up onto the back. And I thought, well, usually they'd have a tall coal stage maybe. I haven't got room for one of them. So what I thought was, in this area, I've got this little digger here. We'll have a little access road here into this area, big mound of coal there, and the digger can fill up whatever steam engines I've got on that line there. So in this area now, the only bit I've not done is this wall here with the Backscene. I will be having the high street here now. It's all built up out of, as you can see, polystyrene, and that will become the same level as this here. So we're having the high street bit here and another row of either houses or whatever, but I've recently put some flashing LED lights, blue LED lights, into a Oxford die-cast fire engine. So we're on this scene here, we're going to have some kind of disastrous action going on. Moving along onto this bit, this again is one lift out section. This is a escape route because I'm on the ground floor, so this has to be lifted out. Now, for people who remember how I've done the joins in the track there and there, it was absolutely atrocious really what I did. I was using bent pieces of copper piping, but I'm not going to drag all that out. I'll show you a bit further down there how I've managed to overcome that. I built the school, but I'm not really happy with it for some reason. I think it's just too big for my layout. I have decided to have kind of the farm scene over in this area, and obviously we'll have, because the high street's here, it's going to come round into a road obviously, and then it will go off behind the manor house and all that kind of stuff there. So this area will be quite built up, and then the road can disappear behind it. Moving on to the station itself. Now originally I built this huge retaining wall that was going to go along kind of the back here, because I've got another line running behind there, and it was going to hide that line. But then I thought, well, because my layout, you're only really going to see this area, then it disappears through a tunnel and re-emerges out of that tunnel, and then you're just going to see this area, and then it goes into another tunnel over there and gets hidden until we get up to this section. I'll show you that in a second. I thought, well, why not just make it 3 platforms? So we've got platform 1, or platform 2 and 3. So I've added another platform on to it just down there. And then the retaining wall now will go on the back scene along there. So I might have to do a bit more kit bashing and take these things out, because the amount of room that I've got between the rail and the back scene is not very much at all. So I might have to do a bit of kit bashing there. But that's all looking good so far. I've also done the chippy. Now originally, oops, that probably wants gluing down now. Originally some of these people were made out of die cast, and I've changed my mind. That's probably why it looks a bit grubby here. I decided to change them out to kind of the more plastic kind of people, and then we've got a couple of lamps here. Now this area does also have signals, so what I've done here on this board, and cleverly hidden a 9-volt battery behind it. So that's my main power, and these are 12 volt. These run off 12 volt incidentally. So if you look at the brightness between the 9-volt ones and a 12-volt one, you can see the difference. So I may just knock these on this side down to 9-volt as well, because they're just not as bright, they're not as overpowering. So what I've done here is I've got 2 switches, one for each platform. There will be another switch going in here, obviously for platform 3. So you can operate these independently depending on which way the train's running on that particular day. And as I've said, we do have a full back scene all the way around now. Let me just see if I can get that in there. Right, so if I just get this right, you can see that the signal box does have a flickering stove in there. And the way I've achieved that is I've just got one of them little tea lights that are battery powered from Poundland. You get a packet of 3 from Poundland, and I've just ripped it open and got the bulb out, the LED, and that just runs on a 3-volt system that is under the layout that's fed from the main control board over here. I've also added, I think it's a marsh harrier, just to give it a little bit of depth, the Backscene. So yeah, I'm really pleased the way that's turned out. So looking around the actual layout and the Backscene and how I'm lighting things up, I've got these bulbs that I just clipped on to the Backscene. I've got 4 of them. I'm going to use one of these. So it's basically, you can turn each one on individually. I'll just turn them off. Or there's a button for all on, and it lights up the whole thing. Because sometimes the light in here is not brilliant, and you know, the blind I've had to pull down because it blocks out some of the light when you're filming. So yeah, we're going to have a row of houses here, a little bit of car park space here in front of the chippy, and these, I think, I can't remember if I got them with a kit or not, but they're basically paving stones like them individually. So you stick them on individually, and they will continue along there. This is where the car park's going to be, obviously. I've left the door off the phone box because there's someone actually using the phone. Right, this is a reminder for me. So in this Country Station kit by Metcalfe, this is what you get in the pack, and this is how you get access to the door. They say use a bit of scrap cardboard and make kind of a ramp. Well, I didn't really like that idea, so all I've done is built the layouts up with cardboard, and then this white piece of cardboard I actually got from the range. It's a big sheet, and I just rolled it so I didn't have any creases in it, so I'll get it home, and then I've built it up that way. And there's also a few lights in there as well, not very well hidden LEDs, but it does look effective at night. And obviously we've got a lot of LEDs in the station as lights to light it up. Now my layout is quite unique in that it has 2 lift up sections. One's just here, obviously that's my access door, and one over by the window. Now these things are absolutely brilliant, these rail aligners, and I will do a video in the future about how to do these. They can be quite finicky, especially on this one. This one needs probably redoing because you can see the gap there. It's not brilliant, as in that one is much more closer together. So moving on to the Canal scene, I've got pretty much everything ready for that. I'm not sure if the old Forge is going to feature on that side yet, but I have got a bloke with an anvil and all that kind of thing. Some of these characters will be mixed up, like we've got the gamekeeper there. Some of that will be going onto the farm scene as well. That's the only tree I've bought. I make my own trees, but that's the only one I bought. I think it was about 14 quid from Hornby. Absolutely ridiculously priced for a bit of plastic, if you ask me. But I did want a nice tree to go with the beer garden for the Banks's Black Horse Hotel. And obviously, yes, you can see the leads there. It's got lights in there as well. And this is still a bit of a work in progress, obviously. This will be the Canal scene. One more thing that I've been working on recently. I thought, well, we're having a disaster scene, so why not have a Sea King helicopter? Now this is think it's 1/72 scale, which is close enough. So I'm working on that currently. You can see it's got a couple of wires coming out of it, and the reason for that is not only do I like the Sea King, but I wanted the blades to rotate as well. So what I've done with that is I've got a variable resistor and a 9-volt battery, so there's a little motor in there that, you know, I've had to do a bit of kit bashing to make it work, but there is a tiny little motor in there that's geared. And the great thing is I don't need a power switch, because when it's off, it's off. And you can see when it's on, if I So yeah, that's my idea behind that. Absolutely little fantastic kit. Yeah, I've made a few mistakes here and there. It's not, you know, it's not brilliant. I'm far better at making model railways than I am kits like this, but it's, you know, you do it and you learn. So that concludes this video pretty much. I will have a little running session for you now. Thank you to, I think, nearly 200 subscribers. Thank you very much to old subscribers and new ones that have just joined. It is a work in progress, as all model railways are. You know, 3 months on, I think I've achieved quite a lot. Obviously there's other things going on in the background, you know, the kit builds for the buildings and all that kind of thing, and wiring, and not even put any point motors on the layout yet. That's another bridge to cross, but enjoying the experience. So thank you for watching, and I'll leave you with this little running session.
Please keep your personal belongings with you at all times. If you do spot anything suspicious, please speak to a member of our station team or British Transport Police. You can also text British Transport Police on 61016. Remember the 3 S's. See it, say it, sorted.